The Things I Never Said by Henry Clark. Welcome to Magic Verse. This is where we tell stories that speak quietly, but leave you changed. We don't do jump scares, explosions, or plot twists. We do silence, regret, the weight of words left, unsaid. In this world, time is a thief, memory is a mirror, and love is often something we realize too late. So, if you've ever held back a sorry, or missed your chance to say, I love you, you're in the right place. I never learned how to say the right thing at the right time. I learned how to build a shed, how to fix a leaky pipe, how to stretch a paycheck when the layoffs came, but not how to say, I'm proud of you, or I need you, or God forbid, I'm sorry. That kind of language was foreign to me. I grew up in a house where feelings were folded tight like laundry, stacked, hidden, and never discussed. When you're young, you think time is this endless thing, a road you can wander off and always find your way back to. I used to think that. I don't anymore. The house is quiet now. It's been quiet since Emma died. 6 years this autumn. I never fixed the hinge on the bedroom door like she asked me to. It still creaks when I pass. It's strange how a small sound can hold so much weight. That creak is louder than any silence. We had one son, Matthew. He lives in Boston now, works in finance, married with 2 kids. At least I think so. The last photo I got was 4 Christmases ago. The kids were wearing matching sweaters. I never met them. We talk every few months, always polite, always shallow. How are you, Dad? Still vertical. Son. A weak laugh, then silence. It's like we both speak different dialects of grief. This is not the story of an extraordinary man or an extraordinary family. This is the story of what happens when you live a life full of pauses and never press play. Emma always knew. Emma was the only one who could read the silence between my words. When Matthew was 10, he broke my grandfather's watch. It was an accident, of course, but I came down on him hard. Too hard. I remember his little hands trembling, clutching the shattered pieces, whispering, I didn't mean to, Dad. I looked at him. My son, afraid of me. And what did I say? Be more careful next time. That was it. 4 cold words, not even a sigh. That night, Emma sat beside me on the couch. She didn't yell. She never yelled. She just placed her hand on mine and said, You'll lose him if you don't show him he matters. I grunted. I always grunted when I didn't want to feel something. He's a boy, I said. Boys need discipline. He's not just a boy, she replied, softly. He's your boy. I didn't answer. I didn't know how. She kissed my shoulder and walked away. And I sat there, staring at the blank television screen, thinking about how loud silence can be when you're too proud to fill it. The last real conversation. Matthew was 18 when he told me he didn't want to go to college right away. He'd been accepted to a good university upstate, full ride. I was proud, though I never said it. He came to the garage where I was under the truck, changing the oil. He stood there for a while before finally saying, Dad, I'm thinking of deferring a year. Maybe travel. Do something that matters. Didn't even look at him. Why waste a year? I asked. You got a full ride to one of the best schools in the country. I know, he said. But I feel like I need to figure out who I am first. I wiped my hands on a rag, more to buy time than anything else. You figure out who you are by showing up, not wandering off. He looked down, voice quieter. You always did think I was a disappointment. That hit me, right in the chest. But I didn't let it show. If the shoe fits, I said flatly. I saw something in him close off in that moment, like a door that would never fully open again. He left the next day, and we didn't speak for over a year. Emma's final days, when the cancer came back, it came fast. The first week, Emma was still Emma. Strong-willed, independent, she insisted on making the bed herself, folding towels, even watering the hydrangeas in the backyard. By the second week, she couldn't climb stairs. I'd find her sitting at the bottom, out of breath, pretending she was just resting. By the third week, she couldn't walk at all. One night, I had to carry her from the kitchen table back to the bedroom. Her arms wrapped around my neck, her breath shallow and hot against my collar. She weighed almost nothing, like air wearing, bones, and still. She apologized. "I hate being a burden," she whispered. "You're not," I said. But it came out cracked, thin. She gave me a half smile. "You always were a terrible liar." Then more softly, "I just wish we had more time." I didn't answer, because the truth was, we'd had time. Years of it. I just hadn't used it right. The last promise. The night before she passed, I sat at her bedside. The room was dark, except for the small lamp on her nightstand. The one she always left on, even when she said she wasn't afraid of the dark. I was holding her hand. It felt like paper. She squeezed my fingers weakly and said, "Don't shut him out, Henry." Her voice was barely audible. I had to lean in. "I don't know how to reach him," I said. My throat burned. "Try," she whispered. And that was it. She closed her eyes, and I lost the only bridge I had to my son. The unsent letters. After the funeral, I sat down at the kitchen table with a cup of black coffee and a legal pad. I was going to write him a letter, a real one, something honest, something that could open a door instead of pushing him further away. I wrote 5. They all started the same way. "Matthew, I don't expect you to forgive me. I just want you to know I was wrong. About a lot of things. About you. Some were angry at myself. Some were aching apologies. One didn't even have a proper ending. Just trailed off mid-sentence like my courage had run out halfway through. None of them made it to the mailbox. They sit in the kitchen drawer still, tucked between takeout menus and old batteries, and things I haven't touched in years. Sometimes I take them out and reread them. Sometimes I imagine what it would feel like to press send. But I never do, because even now, I don't know if I'm doing it for him or for me. A phone call in winter. 2 winters ago, there was a snowstorm. I went out to salt the porch steps. I slipped, fractured my hip. I lay there in the snow for over 2 hours. The sky was that heavy gray that makes time feel slower, colder. I remember thinking, this might be it. Jake, the neighbor's kid, came by with a shovel. He found me face down, half covered, muttering my wife's name into the wind. The ambulance came. I don't remember the ride. At the hospital, a nurse asked me if there was someone to call. I gave her Matthew's number. She called, left a voicemail. He didn't call back, didn't text, didn't come. I told myself maybe he didn't get the message, that he was busy. Flights were grounded, life was chaotic. But deep down, I knew the truth. I had built a silence so large between us. He no longer knew how to cross it. Birthdays and obligations. This past April, on my 74th birthday, he called. "Hey, Dad. Happy birthday." "Thanks, son. How's the weather?" "Still snow in the yard. April's a liar." Laughed, just a little. That soft, almost embarrassed laugh he used to have when he was a kid and didn't know if he was allowed to be happy. It was the first time we'd spoken in nearly 7 months. "I'll send you something," he said. "You don't have to. I know." Then silence. I thought about the letters, the ones I'd written and hidden. I thought about Emma's voice. "Try." So I tried. "I've been meaning to tell you." I started, but stopped. Because what was I really going to say? That I missed him? That I kept a drawer full of unsent apologies? That I watched his childhood on repeat in my head every night before I fall asleep? He waited. I didn't speak. He said, "I've got a work call. I should go. Love you." It caught me off guard. The last time he'd said those words, he was 14. He had just won second place at the science fair. I didn't know what to say back then. I didn't know what to say now, so I said, "You too." And then the line went dead. And I sat in my kitchen with a slice of cake going stale beside me, and a silence that no candle could warm. The garage. The garage has become my cathedral. I spend hours there, not fixing things, not building, just being. The shelves are covered in dust. The radio hasn't worked in years. The lawnmower Matthew broke when he was 12 still sits in the corner. I never fixed it. I told myself I'd get around to it. But every time I looked at it, I saw his small hands holding the handle, wide eyes saying, "Dad, I didn't mean to. I didn't know it would jam." And me, I didn't yell. I just sighed. "We'll figure it out." His face lit up like I'd handed him the moon. I didn't realize until the years later how rare that smile had become. Sometimes I sit on the workbench and stare at that mower. It's not the machine that's broken. It's time. The old photo. There's a photo on my shelf. Black and white, Emma, Matthew, and me. In front of the old lake cabin we used to rent every August. He's maybe 7. He's holding up a fish, both hands stretched, mouth open in giddy surprise. Emma's laughing. I have my arm around his shoulder, stiffly. I remember being annoyed that day. We were late for dinner. I didn't want to take the picture. Funny. The things we remember, and the things we don't. I look at that photo and I ask myself, did he feel loved that day, or just tolerated? And the worst part is, I'll never know, because I never asked. The visit that never came. After I healed from the hip fracture, I called him, left a voicemail, tried to sound upbeat, like a man who wasn't scared to be alone. "Hey, house is quiet these days. Could use some noise. Got a new kettle, one of those that whistles. I think you'd like it." No response. 2 weeks later, a card arrived. No return address, just a generic store-bought greeting. And inside, typed, "Glad you're feeling better." Things are hectic right now. Maybe soon. Maybe darn soon. I've come to realize that soon is the most dishonest word in the English language. It pretends to offer hope. But really, it's just delay dressed in kindness. The dream. A month ago, I had a dream. Matthew was 5 again, wearing those red rain boots he loved, the ones he refused to take off. Even for bed, he was running through the yard, laughing, the way only children can laugh, like joy was a natural state. Emma and I sat on the porch. She looked healthy, beautiful. She smiled at me and said, "He still waits." Then Matthew stopped, turned to me. His eyes were wide, unblinking. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked. My heart clenched. "Tell you what?" I said. "That you cared." And then he was gone. I woke up with tears on my pillow, my body cold, my mouth dry. It was the first time I'd cried in years, not because I didn't want to, but because I forgot how. The notebook. Lately, I've started keeping a notebook, not a diary. I'm not that sentimental. Just small memories. Details I'm afraid will disappear when I do. Emma's hand smelled like lemon soap. Matthew used to hum the same 3 notes when he was deep in thought. He once gave me a rock for Father's Day and told me it was strong like me. I still have it. First time he tied his own shoes, he ran to show me. I barely looked up from the paper. It's not much, but maybe someday, if he finds it, he'll know I noticed. Even if I never said so. Even if my silence was louder than my love, the present. This morning I woke up to cold tea and grey light spilling through the blinds. I sat at the kitchen table, same spot as always. The fridge hummed, the clock ticked, but the loudest sound in the room was still my silence. I opened the drawer, the one with the unsent letters. I took out the first one, read it again. The paper was soft from folding, the ink faded. I almost put it in an envelope. Almost. But then I sat down and wrote a new one. Dear Matthew, I've lived a long life. Long enough to know I was wrong about most things. I thought being a father meant being strong, quiet, firm. But it also means showing up, speaking up, saying the words that matter, even if your voice shakes. I want you to know. I saw you. I see you. I was always proud of you. I just didn't know how to say it. Maybe you won't read this. Maybe you will. Either way, I needed to write it. Love. Dad, I signed it. No edits, no hesitation. I'll send it tomorrow. Maybe it's too late. Maybe it's not, for the final thought. If someone ever asks what kind of man I was, I hope they say, he was slow to speak, slower to change, but in the end, he tried to fix what couldn't be undone, tried to reach across silence, tried to say what he never could, while the people he loved were still close enough to hear it. I'll never be remembered in books. No statues, no plaques, not even a bench with my name. But if one day, Matthew stands at my grave, reads that letter and whispers, I knew he cared, then that will be enough, because some words are small, but saying them at all can change everything. Spoken quietly after the final line, almost like a breath. You've just heard the things I never said. If this story reminded you of someone, a father, a son, a silence still waiting to be broken, don't wait. Say the thing. And if you believe in the power of quiet stories, stay with us here on Magic Verse. We tell stories that don't shout, they whisper. And sometimes, the whisper is what breaks your heart wide open.